It is Revenge Week on Thursday Night Football on the Turf and Touchdowns podcast as Philadelphia take on the New York Giants. Saquon Barkley back against the New York Giants. He didn't get to do it in week 18 when he was going for the record last year, Tom, but I think Saquon remembers his time in New York.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a troubled time, but also a glorious time. Like, the Giants fans loved him. He was their main player. He did do some big plays and had some great games for them, but they didn't ever win anything. And Barkley was relied upon for even getting a weekly win, let alone a playoff run or anything like that. So, yeah, I feel like Barkley wanted to make an impression. He wanted to show New York that he was the player that they thought they drafted and that they shouldn't have let him go. Last year, that one very good game against the Giants, to me, suggested that he had a little bit of a vendetta there, something to prove. And when Barkley's got something to prove, you know he's going to deliver. However, this year he's yet to deliver, really. We've seen him in 5 occasions. He's been a bit underwhelming on each and every start, including last week against the Broncos. And he came into this week with an injury designation, a bit of knee soreness. So for all that it is a revenge game, Barkley's not been the Saquon Barkley that we were used to expecting.
You know what team in the NFL likes to annoy their opposition more than anyone else as well?
Which team is that?
Yeah, it's the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles do not care what you think about them. They're going to go and do their own thing, and that's that. But Barkley, he's not been fantastic so far this year, but you would think that gets back on track in this spot. The Eagles, at the time of recording, are 7.5-point favourites in this contest. The over-under, only 41.5, so whereas last Thursday night we were kind of entertained by the misfits of the San Francisco 49ers, this week, Tom, it's probably going to be quite boring.
Yeah, it should be. I say that because the Philadelphia Eagles offense this year just hasn't been clicking. We've talked briefly about Barkley. Jalen Hurts hasn't been at his brilliant best. His best plays have come from tush pushes. AJ Brown gave up on a few routes last week. It was quite surprising to see an elite receiver do that. Devontae Smith actually had a really good game on Sunday against the Broncos. But prior to that, he was a bit hit and miss. And this offensive line for Philly isn't the same offensive line that we saw last year in terms of their protection of Jalen. So on offense, Philly have been a bit of a shambles, but on defense, they're very good. And it's kind of the same with the New York Giants. Their defense isn't as good as Philly's, but their offense is spluttering a bit, despite the fact that they have had some big plays with Cam Scatterbu and Jackson Dart now. Malik Neighbors being out is the killer for them, right? So I don't see that many points in this game, but there should be enough to make it entertaining. I don't think it will just be a field goal fest. A couple of quick trends. The Giants against the Eagles. Since 2008, the Eagles have won 28 of the 35 matchups. It's 28-7 in the head-to-head there. And it's likely to increase. And you've already said that the spread right now is 7.5-point favourites for the Eagles. I think they'll probably win this game. But after losing their incredible streak of victories, not losing for 280-plus days, they eventually lost that streak on Sunday against Denver. Told you they were a good team. Will they be able to bounce back? It's a bit of a body blow for them, isn't it?
They are. To be fair, both the teams that we were quite outlandish about before the season started, i.e. winning their division, we're not far wrong about, because yours was the Denver Broncos, which I was like, I get it, but have you seen their division? And mine was the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are now 4-1, and they beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And I mean, they look very good in their division.
Yeah, exactly. Both of these two teams are on the ascendancy. The Bills are solid. The Eagles are solid. These are teams where you expect them to do well by the end of the year. And obviously the fact that the Jags and the Broncos have beaten those two sides, to me, suggests they're more than capable of winning a division and going on big playoff runs. However, obviously Denver have to beat Kansas City still. They're very hit and miss. So there is a lot still to prove. And hopefully we are going to be right by the end of the year about these two teams winning the division. But yeah, it's been positive so far.
Yeah, albeit the last time Denver took on the Chiefs, they absolutely whooped them like 1,000,000-0.
Yeah.
Kansas City didn't have all of their starters because they were resting them, but that's boring, and that won't annoy Gary Slater.
He is typing away. I can see him already going like this.
We didn't have any of our starters. It's ridiculous. They've done it again. Yeah, every single week. Before we move on to our selections, speaking of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Tom Collins, we did our members video last night. I inherited the frustrations of you. You on Monday Night Football, though, unstoppable. You're 100% the entirety of the season.
Yeah, I think I'm 7-0, maybe
Yeah.
something like that. So Monday Night Football has been the best place for me. As you can see by the record here, Monday Night Football stats are not put in this record as it is just for members, not for everyone on YouTube. So actually, just Sunday nights, I'm not doing great. I need to improve on that. But last week, we had a pretty successful week, Thursday and Sunday. Hopefully, that can continue. And I won't just be a Monday Night Football specialist.
No, no, we'll branch out. Tom will spread his wings and fly. But if you want to watch our Monday Night Football previews, that will be coming up again later on in this week. That will be down in our membership tier. Click the link down below. Come and join us. There's plenty of us, and we're having a bit of success together as well. Speaking of success, last week, Tom, we did very well. No player of the day for you though.
Yes. Well, on Sunday, I put up Brock Bowers as my player of the day, and unfortunately, we filmed it on Thursday or Wednesday. I can't remember which day. Went live on Thursday evening, and then suddenly, late Thursday evening, he was designated with an injury, and then he just didn't play on Sunday. So it was a void bet, no harm done, but it meant I didn't have a player of the day on Sunday. So I'm going to have that player of the day on Thursday Night Football this week, if that's okay with you.
I am A-OK with that. Please tell us what the player of the day is.
Yeah, so I am Saquon Barkley heavy this week. I'll give you a little bit of the reasoning before I then tell you my selections. So, as already mentioned, this offense has been very hit and miss so far, and I don't like the way AJ Brown is playing. Devontae Smith is reliable, but I think they're just going to run the ball. The coach came out, or several of their coaches actually came out after their defeat to the Broncos on Sunday, and they said, we didn't run the ball enough. We should have gone back to our main identity, running the ball, pounding the rock, and hopefully they'd have then increased their winning streak. But it didn't happen. And I think they're going to get back to the roots here. I think they're going to run the ball a lot in the game against the Giants. The Giants haven't been very good against the run all year anyway. They're giving up around 140 yards per game on the ground. So I think the Eagles are going to look to exploit this. So you have Saquon Barkley, you have Jalen Hurts. They're your two running options. Jalen Hurts, he's been a bit hit and miss with his running as well. Like some games, he goes 9, 10, 13 carries, like something like that. Or some games, he'll go for 2 or 3 carries. And he's just a little bit unreliable for me. Obviously, from a touchdown perspective, you've got the tush push. But other than that, it seems to be very much reliant on Barkley. And I think that could be the case again. So I'm Saquon Barkley heavy in the revenge game against the Giants. 2 plays. And because he has that knee injury, he is likely to play. He said he's pretty confident he's going to line up in this game, and he will have the majority of snaps. But because he has the knee injury, maybe he loses out on a snap or two to Will Shipley or another running back, Tank Bigsby, I think it is.
Tank Bigsby, I don't think he's played a snap yet since that trade, but he's there.
Yeah, so one of those two running backs may come in and take a snap or two off Barkley. So for that reason, I don't want to be playing rushing yards. The line is 80.5. He will probably go over that, but are just a little bit wary with the injury. So my 2 plays on Thursday Night Football are Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown. That's at 10-17, relatively short, but that's going to be my play of the day. And then I'm also going to play Saquon Barkley 2+ touchdowns in this game at 3-1. A big price, but he only has to find the end zone twice. I'm just fingers crossed there aren't that many tush pushes because they would steal him off Barkley. But hopefully he can get to the end zone at least once against his former team.
I'm going to peel back the curtain a little bit here. Multiple touchdown scorer bets Tom hates.
I do. I really do. But this time, maybe not.
Literally, in our early days of 7 touchdowns, I was like, I might put that up. Tom was like, don't do that. They're stupid bets. Don't do that. I was like, all right, okay, fine. let's not go for that. But yeah. This is groundbreaking. But I'm going to look more weird, as I normally do. But I'm going to look towards the Giants side because I think you can invest in the Giants side and still be relatively successful because of it. Now, Jackson Dart, he's been a rookie. He's been a rookie is the best way to describe it. Look, his debut, I know they beat the Chargers. The game plan sucked. It wasn't regards to Jackson Dart throwing the ball at all. It was Jackson, get the ball, see what you can do, run and go crazy. And he did it very well, honestly. But against New Orleans, they had to throw the ball more. They could not stop giving the ball to New Orleans. That includes Jackson Dart as well. He threw a couple of picks. Cam Scatterboo threw the ball on the floor as well. It was a bit of a mess against New Orleans. But he still threw the ball a lot. And I think they're going to have to do that in this game. He threw the ball 40 times on that occasion. Now, his line for passing attempts, which is something that we attacked earlier on in the year, Jaden Daniels went over that line in the same game as well. Wasn't a selection, but we sort of pushed you that way with Jordan Love going over that line. his passing attempts line is 30.5. I think that is a very low line regards to Jackson Dart. I think his completion line is 18.5 as well. But at 10 to 11, I'll take the over on 30.5. Every single time the Philadelphia Eagles have set foot on the football field this season, they have forced the opposition quarterback to throw the ball over this line, except once, and that was Patrick Mahomes. And honestly, I don't really get what the Chiefs were doing because they lost that game, and Mahomes only threw the ball 29 times. So they do force the opposition to play catch up. Bo Nix last week threw the ball 40 times. I think that's something we're looking at with Jackson Dart here. And that will lead us nicely into our second selection as well, because every single time Jackson Dart targets Theo Johnson, will be delighted. And he's been doing it a lot as well. Theo Johnson, for whatever reason, to be fair, along with Daniel Bellinger, I think this is just a case of rookie targeting tight ends because they're friendlier targets, so to speak. But Theo Johnson, since Jackson Dart came in, has had 5 targets and 7 targets, turning it into 3 catches and 6 catches. And last week he caught 2 touchdowns. He caught 1 touchdown the week prior as well. So Theo Johnson is clearly a main target of Jackson Dart. There's been plenty said as well. They're apparently very good friends off the field, so the rapport is already there. I think Jackson Dart's going to be looking for Theo Johnson. And his line's only 27.5 receiving yards. Again, I'll take the over on that at 10 to 11. He went over it last week with 33 yards. And the Eagles, look, they've been fine so far against tight ends. But they're getting worse. The last couple of games, they've just let a couple of things slip. And Evan Engram had his comeback game last week. 4 catches for 33 and also a touchdown. I think Theo Johnson will be used a fair bit in this. Someone's got to play the New York Giants side of things in the world, Tom. Why not be me? Jackson Dart over 30.5 and Theo Johnson over 27.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, I like both. I prefer the Johnson bet personally out of the two, purely because I watched the Giants a lot last week. I actually bet them and had them in a competition that we're in, where you play a team against the spread. And they were a bit frustrating in that game. Like, I thought they should have beaten the Saints. Dart made a couple of bad mistakes where I feel like he should have run the ball, but instead he sat in the pocket or just escaped a little bit and then tried to throw it. And maybe the coaching staff will have had a word with him about that. So I'm not 100% sure about the pass attempts. But the line is low, as you say. And if the Eagles are up relatively big going into the second half or even the fourth quarter, then maybe he'll cover that. But the more important thing that you mentioned there was the fact that he likes Theo Johnson because, I mean, who else is he supposed to throw to in that offense? You have Darius Slayton, who just doesn't ever seem to really do anything on the field. Wan'Dale Robinson, who was very good when Russell Wilson was at QB. Mm-hmm. It looks like Jackson Dart doesn't like him at all. You have Jalen Hyatt, who is frankly quite useless apart from just stretching the defense. He's got no one else to throw to. So, I mean, if you've got big 84 there with solid hands and he runs good routes, I mean, he's going to find him relatively often, isn't he?
You say Jackson Dart doesn't like Wan'Dale Robinson. Let's play the game. How many catches did Wan'Dale Robinson have last week?
Oh, I have no idea. I didn't see him much. So 3?
5.
Did he? Okay.
They were all useless because he got 5 catches for 30 yards. But
that is Wan'Dale Robinson, though, and unless it's Russell Wilson, when suddenly he's on go routes.
Exactly. It's just they're the completely irrelevant Wan'Dale Robinson targets. However, that does factor into tight ends. Tight ends aren't going to be running down the field. You've got Theo Johnson and Daniel Bellinger underneath. That's my thinking anyway. Cam Scatterby had 6 catches as well last week. There'll be plenty of underneath plays, and hopefully Jackson Dart takes advantage of that. Before we round up our selections, please leave a like down below, leave a comment, subscribe, do whatever you have to do to promote the channel. That will be appreciated. And Tom, you're going Eagles and Barkley heavy.
I am indeed. Saquon Barkley, anytime touchdown at 10 to 17, and then Saquon Barkley 2+ touchdowns at 3 to 1. If we get 1 touchdown, relatively happy. That is my play of the day from Sunday that was missed. Obviously, we do need the 2+ touchdowns to win on the game if you're playing singles, but hopefully that happens. And also, can we get to 1,200 subscribers on the back of just this video? And then we'll set a new challenge for Sunday. I think we're only 7 or 8 away, maybe 9. So please do click that subscribe button, big red button down below, costs you nothing. Make sure you miss out on no future content.
As we speak, 9 away.
9 away. Okay.
9 away. The problem is, your player that if it lands, it's not going to be updated above.
Yeah. Might be.
Well, possibly. I don't know. It won't because we'll be releasing on Thursday. That'll be our Sunday video coming later on in the week. My 2 plays for Thursday Night Football: Jackson Dart over 30.5 passing attempts. That's attempts, not completions. That's at 10 to 11. And Theo Johnson, who might well be his favourite target in New York, over 27.5 receiving yards. That is also at 10-11. Maybe not the best of games on paper coming up for us on Thursday Night Football, but still football all the same. We'll be back on Thursday to preview the Sunday action. And we're building up towards the Breeders' Cup as well on the horse racing side of things. There'll be plenty of Breeders' Cup content coming at you in the next few weeks. But until then, Tom, say goodbye to the people.
Come on, Saquon Barkley. See ya.